Right, guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Obviously, myself, Stoomboy, as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about SGI9, SGI9 is going to be Saturday, the 11th of December. It's going to be at the usual place, Maryhill Community Hall in Glasgow. Tickets, again, I keep saying this, and I can't stress this enough. Tickets are only available directly from the Scottish Grappling Facebook page going through to Eventbrite, purely because it is a council-run building, and unfortunately in Scotland, it is still very, very strict in regards to COVID rules. So make sure you do get your tickets directly from Eventbrite. Do not turn up on the night expecting to get in like you normally do, because you will be sent packing. And it happened at the last SDI. Unfortunately, some people got sent away because they didn't have tickets. So absolute fantastic lineup on this as well. I mean, a lot of great single matches. And then obviously headlined by that four nations, the teams England, Team Scotland, Team Ireland, and Team Wales. So as Team England, I've already pointed out, it's the north of England. Apparently there is a big difference between the north and south of England. So it's the Team North of England. So yeah, fantastic lineup in regards to that Four Nations Square go. So my next guest going to be on that night. So James Coggs of the Griphouse, going to be up against Kevin Hamilton of Rick Young. Now, Coggsy's one of the guys in Scotland that certainly us older guys look up to. He's one of the more decorated jiu-jitsu practitioners in Scotland, as he's travelled everywhere, done a lot of competitions, IBJJFs, local comps, submission onlys, and so on. So has a massive amount of competition experience. So he's very well travelled as well. He's a Tartan Army boy. So very, very well travelled, as we're going to hear as well. So, Coggsy, that's an absolute pleasure to speak to you as always.
Good to see you, Stuart. Good to see you. That was quite an entry, an introduction. I'll slip you that 20 quid later on. I'm not convinced there's anyone that actually looks up to me with my height, mate.
No, well, listen, you're as I say, you're one of the more decorated guys in Scotland. Obviously, yourself, Shaz Khan, and so on, that are regularly out there putting yourselves on the line. IBJJF comps all over the place. So definitely one of the guys. For I know for me, when I come through and I started doing like the IBJJF comps, it was always either yourself or Shaz Khan that was out there putting yourselves out there. So you were the guys that, for me, I looked and said, well, look, I want to be doing that same kind of thing as well. I want to be out there and winning medals and stuff like that. So definitely someone to look up to.
Shaz was the one who kind of pushed me to do it as well, because when I started competing, it was Shaz, Owen Campbell used to be in the gym.
Yeah.
So, these guys used to do it as well. Lovey, big Alan Love, going to these comps as well. Guys like myself, Shaz, and Badge, and that we've got the slight advantage of being masters athletes, so we've got more disposable income than the other boys, so we can get out there and do more comps. But the more you compete, the easier it gets, mentally. Yeah. So just try and get out there as much as possible.
Definitely. And then what about you? I mean, obviously now that we're officially back training, so obviously you've been able to get back in the gym. How's it feeling for you being back there? Because obviously I know that obviously you were the same as me. Obviously we take that seriously. We did take the COVID and stuff like that seriously. So we stuck to the rules and so on. So how's it feeling being back in the gym amongst all the guys again?
Yeah, it's been great to be back, Stuart. I mean, we all know the first rule of Fight Club, COVID Fight Club, so there may or may not have been some training going on in the last 18 months, but being able to actually get a routine again, be back in training with, multiple different guys, has been great. And just for my own mental health, actually getting that routine again and being able to, just normality, or a feeling of normality, at least for that hour or two that you're in the gym each day.
Yeah.
So that's been great. It's just been great to be back. Great to see folk, great to interact with people again, and just great to be back training,
Yeah. What about numbers as well? I know that obviously everybody I've spoke to, the numbers in the gyms has increased massively since before the lockdown. So we've seen a lot of old faces coming back that maybe left before the lockdown started.
Yeah, a combination of that, and I'm actually more surprised by the people who've decided to take it up. The new guys starting, because you're like, we're just coming out of a global pandemic. I think the last thing you want to do is lie on top of each other, sweating in each other's mouths, But there's been a lot of guys that have come back in, and not just our gym, but we've seen other gyms as well running introductory courses, and they're all packed, which is awesome. It's great. You know,
Yeah.
we need these white belts. You know, their sustenance. Get the food supply in.
That's true. No, we're the same. I mean, obviously, BJJ, we had the massive influx. And we had the Griphouse would have been the same. We had people kept messaging during the lockdown like that, and we had a waiting list of people. So as soon as the
What's going
doors
on? What's
opened,
opening? Yeah.
yeah, as soon as the doors opened, you just message these people and say, right, let's come in. And sure enough, these guys come in. And I've noticed as well, I mean, see you were at the last Scottish grappling comp there over at Scotstoun, and the level of jiu-jitsu now than what it was pre-lockdown is fucking ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous.
We've got a few guys, one or two white belts, like Diamond, you know, Ryan he's absolutely terrifying. He's got a fucking white belt around his waist. You know, it's like, you know, he gives me absolute nightmares. So, you know, and I imagine he's not the only one. You know, there's every gym will have them, these guys that are just taking it in and they're going on leaps and bounds. And then, you know, it's the same all the time. Every level that comes through is better than the level before it. You know, I've heard, you know, Paul and Gary and that talk about, you know, the blue belts in my day were nothing like the blue belts now. And I think that's even I'm seeing it, you know, the guys kind of about with blue belts on, and it's like, these guys are throwing me around like an empty shell suit, you know?
Yeah. It's terrifying. It's terrifying, the level. As I said, I've seen it the last
Only
couple
I'd
of comps.
started if I'd started at 23 rather than 33, I might actually have been in a better position, you know?
That's the one thing. I mean, when I look back on it and I think to myself, well, when I started, I think it was about, what, 37, right? So 36, 37, I think I started. And I look back and think to myself, same thing. See if I'd have started 10 years ago. But, I mean, 10 years before that, it was you were training in a shed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you were training with like people like Joke Love. They were going down to what was the guy's name? Willie. Can't even remember the guy's name, but down in Ayrshire, they were all training in a shed together and stuff like that. So, whereas obviously you look at when we started, obviously the facilities that was available then, and then you look at the facilities that's available now, and it's so much better than when we started.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at the spots that, you know, Giles has got there. You know, a really nice, immaculate pad at Ronan. You look at what higher level have got now, and the way James has developed that from something really small, then he moved to the unit, and now the unit he's got now is just getting better all the time.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see. I mean, the kids nowadays don't know how good they've got it, James.
At least the heating works in the Griphouse now. I remember a few winters when you know, you had to do the first couple of rolls with your hoodie still on.
Yeah. I remember that. I think I've been up a couple of times at Christmas when you guys normally have the charity open, Matt, and coming in and being coming in and being absolutely Baltic. But then after a couple of rolls, you don't really care how cold it is.
Get over it, yeah.
Yes. And then what about you then? Obviously SGI. All right, so we've got SGI coming up. Obviously you know SGI. You've been there before. What was? How did you find out you were going to be on it this time?
I'd spoken to James previously. We wanted to be back on it, but I suppose it's that thing where, you know, he doesn't want to put me in against a 21-year-old or something like that. And so it's getting the opponent for me. But at the same time, it's, you know, yes, I would take one of those matches, but I might end up going to just be, you know, cannon fodder for someone else. So it's about finding the right opponent. And it just so happened, you know, Kevin stuck his hand up, and Kevin wanted a shot at me. So that's how it was. And like I said, I've been on before. I was pretty disappointed with my performance the last time. It was my first ever sub-only match. Didn't approach it right. You know, the mindset was still very much in a kind of competition points, that kind of way. So, yeah, I've gone through that match so many times in my head afterwards, going, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that. And, you know, just want to put on a performance. You know, I look at some of the guys that I've seen on the show, and even guys that are losing matches, but they're entertaining to watch. You know, you think of Jack Williamson that trains with us. You know, you've got no idea what Jack's going to do. Half the time, Jack doesn't know what he's going to do, but you know, he's entertaining to watch. You know, win or lose, and I want to try and just kind of put a better account of myself out this time and have a more entertaining match.
Yeah. Jack as well. I mean, Jack, I always love watching Jack. Do you know what I mean? Win or lose, Jack will put a
Jack's
performance on.
excellent. Yeah. Jack's really cool to watch. And that's why I want to just put a better account of myself than the last one. You know, I've seen it, like you said, I've been to a few of the SGIs, I've worked at a few of the SGIs, I've been in the crowd, I fought in one of them. And, you know, I'm not the only one who had a shit match. You know, sometimes the matchups just don't, you know, they just don't work. And, you know, Andy and I it just didn't work. It kind of just cancelled each other out, and it just became from a spectator point of view, it became a boring match. So, you know, I want to have a second shot at it, thinking more with a kind of sub-only mentality now. You know, having experienced it, I know what it is now. You know, even, you know, it's things as basic as, you know, roll your back. You know, give up top position. Let's start again. Let's go back and see what happens. You know, work from there. Whereas I was like, all right, I'm on top. I'm going to stay on top, and I'm going to, you know, and it just became boring for both of us. It was boring for Andy as well. You know.
Yeah. Nah, it happens. I mean, I know that I was on it the last time, and my match was terrible. Do you know what I mean? So, but, and again, I don't know what it was. Again, it's that thing. Obviously, submission only. You've got what 10 minutes, and again, the way I went into it was probably similar to what you were talking about. Looking at the point system, and obviously not wanting to go down to the ground and be on the bottom. And do you know what I mean? I wanted to make sure I was on top and stuff like that. Whereas then after it, I thought about it and thought, well, do you know what? There was no points. There was nothing. Do you know what I mean? We could have done something.
Exactly. I think it's just experience, Stuart. I think that's all it is. Just, you know, you're used to what you're used to. So, you know, you talked at the start about the amount of comps I've done. So I've always worked with that kind of point system. So it was a new experience for me, and hopefully I'll learn from it. The other thing is that the cards that James is putting together in SGI just keep getting better and better. So it's like, if I put another shit match on, I'm not getting invited back a third time, you know, because there's so many other good guys out there. So I'd rather you know, I'd put a show on so I can at least get another one afterwards.
Definitely. And this card, I mean, this card's absolutely fucking awesome from start to finish. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you get a lot of guys coming up from obviously England as well. So I know that obviously Owen Livesey's bringing up a whole team from Carlson Gracie, and they're all competing as well. So, and then obviously you got that Four Nations. So, I mean, is there anybody you're looking forward to seeing? Anybody or any fight that you're looking forward to seeing?
Oh yeah, I mean, Owen versus my boy Mr. Brohan from Ireland. I want to see Owen batter Kieran. That'd be hilarious. That'd be great. I'm only joking. No, there's two I'd like to see actually. I'd really like to see Owen versus Stevie Ray. I think that would be a really cool match. Really want to see that, and I'd like to see Kieran versus Ben Robson from the Welsh team. I think that would be a really good match as well. So those are the two that jump out to me straight away that I'd really like to. I hope those that kind of comes out in the card when they're going for it.
One as well.
Owen Stevie Ray, I think would be excellent.
That would be awesome. That would be, mate. That deserves a matchup in itself. Do you know what I mean? So
definitely. If they don't meet, that's definitely one that James should have on the back burner for a future SGI if we don't actually get to see that one, because I think it would be fucking excellent.
Yeah, you've also got main event for the singles matches. You've got Shawnee Stewart, Dominic Dillon.
Yeah, that'd be cool as well. I mean, Shawnee's one of those ones. Another one is just always great to watch. Really entertaining, really dangerous. I remember his match was about 2 years back, the one he had with Graham McQuiston when they were both brown belts. Really entertaining match. You know, just stuff happening all the time. So that'd be good. Shawnee always brings it. So and Dominic, he looks like he's got that kind of unpredictable. I've only seen him once or twice, but you don't quite know what he's going to do. So it's always
crazy
fun.
Guy. He's a crazy guy, Dominic. Absolutely crazy guy, but entertaining to watch. Very, very entertaining. He comes with that wrestling style as well. So, and then what about you then? So obviously you mentioned submission only, and then obviously the tournament style. So for you, what do you prefer then? Do you prefer the point system or the submission only? What's your preference?
My game is definitely more suited to the point system. You know, the way I play, play from bottom, sweeping and all that. But again, like I said, I know from a spectator point, that's you know, it's fine for us if we're at a tournament and you watch it, you go, that's, yeah, he's dominated that, you know, he's swept, he's passed, he's taken it back, he's mounted, you know, he's racked up a cricket score. But you want to sub. You want to finish the guy. You know, you always want to finish the guy. So my game is more suited definitely towards it, just because that's what I've been playing. And I suppose just the level of guys I'm training with, you know, for a long time I've trained with guys that have always been higher belts than I have, you know. So, you know, getting the chance to actually hit the subs is not always the easiest, you know. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't sub Shaz Khan if I can't pass his guard to begin with, you know. So, so it's just that. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Kevin is. I've actually fought Kevin before. Kevin and I fought when we were blue belts. A couple of years back, and I've fought about 4 or 5 of Rick Young's boys, and I've usually had a really good record. Kevin's the only one who's beaten me. Right. I can't remember. It was either he beat me by an advantage or he beat me 4-2. You know, it was a close match, and I remember that. So I'm looking forward to having another shot at him. And that's it. I've seen him compete quite a lot. He's won a lot of matches, but I've also seen him, you know, make a mistake and lose matches that he shouldn't have lost. You know, when so he's a bit unpredictable in that sense. So, you know, there's an opportunity for me, but it's also something I need to be aware of. He'll jump on something fast if I take my eye off the ball. I'm the one that's going to get fucked. So, but hopefully, I think Kevin's kind of, what's the word, unorthodox. His unorthodox style, I think, should hopefully make it a more open match, because I know he'll be going for stuff. And like I said, I want to try and go for stuff this time as well. So
definitely. And then what's next for you? Obviously, SGI will be the last thing for the year. So what are you looking at forward doing 2022? Now that we're open, I mean, we mentioned that earlier. I mean, you love to travel to different competitions and stuff like that. So what's your plan or goals for next year?
Well, the next one, the biggie is at the moment, is the only one that's in the book is Euros. You know, Euros in mid-February in Rome. I've got a terrible record at the Euros. I think I'm 1-1 match, lost 3-1-1, I think, or something like that at the Euros. I'm hoping maybe a change of venue will actually do me pretty good. So, you know, when we go from SGI, what's that? It's a fortnight away. So it'll be 10 weeks then from then to the Euros. So this is kind of like, SGI is going to be step one of my kind of plan towards the Euros. You know, get training in, keep going training, a few days off for Christmas, and then we've got the camp set up around Scotland in January that, you know, you've helped organise, which I think is going to be really good for everyone. Going to try and get to a few of them. Maybe try and catch a local comp towards the end of January with the BJJ All-Stars in Manchester or something Northern England, if there is one, as a kind of final prep, and then that'll be Euros in February. So that's the one that's in the cards at the moment. That's the big one. I am toying with giving World Masters a shot again. I'm Masters 3 next year, 41, something like that. It's probably a good chance. I'll be effectively the youngest in the old bastard bracket. So maybe a trip to Vegas, depending on what goes. But I'll see how my performance goes at the Euros first. I've not had the best of times at purple, to be honest. The comps I've had so far, nowhere near as dominant as I was at blue. Erratic, winning matches, losing matches. Don't feel I've been that offensive of late. Just really kind of holding on, grinding out boring shit wins. SGI will actually be my first purple belt match at lightweight, where I should be, just because I've competed with, you know, just before lockdown, I had a few injuries which pushed me up into the middle, and then coming out of lockdown, we're all carrying a little bit of COVID weight, so I've not really dropped back down to under 76. So this will be my first one. I'm a natural lightweight. I'm far more competitive at that division, so I'm looking forward to competing at my proper weight division, and we'll see how that goes. If the Euros goes well, then I'll definitely look to do World Masters in Vegas if I put on a good show at the Euros.
Definitely. We're going to be taking a good team over.
Well, you know, if Euro Masters happens further in the year, I'll look to pick up that one as well, because it's always a pretty relaxed and, you know, good comp, and I've had good success in the past. But let's get Euros out of the way, and then we'll see what happens from there.
we're going to be taking a lot of people over from Scotland as well. So obviously different gyms. Obviously you guys, Griphouse, BJJ. In fact, guys from all over Scotland, male and female, are going to be going over to the Euros. So it's good that we're all getting together in January for a few dates, get some training in together as well. So
it's really beneficial. Really, really good to get a shot at guys that maybe aren't used to your game quite the same. Just kind of dial in that A game stuff for the Euros in February.
Definitely. And then, what about you then? So obviously you've been in the game for a good few years. So anybody you want to shout out to? So any friends, family members, teammates, anything like that?
It's the usual names. I always have to dial out. Gary Christie and Paul McVeigh first and foremost. For their coaching. Paul especially has been working with me the last couple of weeks. Just he had an idea for something. Coming off that last comp, I was a bit down about my performance. Just didn't feel I was offensive.
Yeah.
Paul took me aside and went, "I've been thinking about this. Let's try adding that in." It seems to be working. So we'll see in 2 weeks' time if it's working or not. But that's been really help. And Gaz is always there, sports as well. All the team, the usual guys, Shaz, Badger, Tony Black, and these guys, but also the younger boys as well. I've been training with Shay quite a bit of late. Shay's been a real help to me. Vastly experienced as well. And we've got Ross Smith up at the gym now since lockdown finished. Purple belt. Ross is excellent. Really good for me because he's a fellow lightweight under 76er. So it's great. The fact he's half my age is a slight disadvantage for me, but it's just so fucking fast. But it's great having these guys as well because they just really push you. So it's just, as I said, it's coaches and teammates, and then obviously Mrs. C puts up with me being away at the Griphouse 5-6 times a week. So big love to her as always.
Yes, definitely. You're funny you say Ross Smith. Ross, I used to train with. I was there when Ross first started, came into GB, and then obviously as time went on, he just kept getting better and better. And then once he hit his blue belt, he seemed to take off at that point. And then once he got his purple, and then he done the move over to you guys, his game just completely evolved overnight.
Ross has been a really good addition to the team, and look forward to seeing him get out there compete more. Don't think he's been matched yet for SGI. His opponent pulled out, so I'm hoping they get him another opponent in the next few days for that one, because it'll be really good to have him on the card. He had those excellent matches with, I forget the name of your
Arouge, yeah.
He had a few excellent matches with him a few weeks ago. And they're obviously same size, roughly same age, so we're going to get a lot more of those ones to come. So if anyone's ever at a comp and they see the two of them in a bracket, make sure you catch that match. I think their first one, I think they fought 3 times that day. Their first
three times,
The first one was best match of the day by an absolute mile. Really, really good. So it's good to see.
Yeah, that's the thing we talk about Scottish Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, the kids coming through now are fucking unbelievable. These are going to be world champions and stuff like that. Obviously, Shay's out there leading the line. Obviously, world champion. So
he's set for he's off to the States in 10 days' time or something like that for Worlds, and can easily see him coming back with one of those medals, especially the big one. It's different level. It's he's reading it on a level that you and I just do not comprehend. It's like I'm not even going to kid myself. He's got I must be 20 kilos heavier than him at the moment. Cannot touch him. Can't touch him at all. Anything I do is something he's allowed me to do. It's unreal.
Awesome kid, as I said, and all these kids coming through from gyms all over Scotland as well. Unbelievable.
Awesome jiu-jitsu. He's not awesome. He's a horrible human being, but it's good jiu-jitsu.
Listen, we wish him all the best, obviously, when he does go over to the States.
Definitely.
We're definitely 100% behind him, so we'll definitely be watching that. I think he'll be on Flow Grappling as well. So I'm sure the world... So we'll definitely get to see Shay. So good luck to Shay. But listen, so guys, SGI9, Saturday, the 11th of December. Now, again, tickets only available from Eventbrite. Because of this lineup, this promises to be a sellout. I mean, this is by far one of the best lineups that we've ever seen on an SGI. You've got some of the top guys all over the UK going to be at SGI on that night. So make sure you get your tickets early. Again, do not turn up on the night because Gary Christie will send you packing. So make sure that you've got a ticket before you come to the event. Obviously, my guest today, James Coggs, the Griphouse is going to be up against Kevin Hamilton of Rick Young's Academy. I think you guys are on the second part, or I believe the last part of the card. I mean, so
we're the oldest two on the card, so they probably need to put us on early before bedtime, you know.
Well, I think you're on the. I'm sure you're on either the second part or the early of the third part. So obviously after the second interval. So, but again, that'll obviously be confirmed. Obviously a little bit closer to the time as well. So, but listen, Cogsy, absolute pleasure as always. I love talking to you.
Good to talk to you. And yeah, keep going with these. These have been entertaining to listen to, and like I said, always fun to chat. Yes,
definitely. And Kieran Brohan, if you're listening, bullying, there's no place for bullying in jiu-jitsu.
He's been bullying me. I was a white belt for years. He was a brown belt. He was bullying me. I was a blue belt for years. He was still a brown belt. I've been a purple belt for years. He's still a brown belt. You know? I might actually get a fight him in a few years' time when we're both brown belts. You know that? He's never getting that black belt. It's never coming. It's never coming.
I know. And he's in everybody's DMs. We talked about this, saying that sort of Ben Robson, and Ben Robson saying like some people have never met him yet. He's in everybody's DMs, messaging like people and stuff like that.
One of these gi manufacturers wanting to give you, you know, could give you Asda price for his gi. You know, it's like...
But he's an awesome guy. Kieran's awesome, absolutely brilliant guy.
He's got a nice dog. His dog's cute. Nice puppy.
Nice. Well, listen, Coggs, looking forward to seeing you next month. All right. So listen, train safe, and we'll see you next month, buddy. All right. Take it easy, mate.
Cheers, bud.